Welcome back. We continue with our focus on South Africa's kidnapping crisis. Let's look at some of the practical solutions that can be implemented to fight this type of crime. One legal and development practitioner has highlighted some of the measures government should undertake. Karabo Mokgonyana says the country is an active hub for human trafficking because of gender inequality, economic instability and political fragility. Mokgonyana joins us now to tell us more about her thoughts. Karabo, thank you very much for speaking to us here on eNCA. Just elaborate further in terms of, obviously we know that there's an intelligence issue in our country, a policing issue in our country, whether it's about the fact that we don't have enough boots on the ground. But you say it's also about political fragility. Explain this further for us. Karabo, just make sure that you're not muted because we can't hear you.
Yes, I am.
There you go.
Yes, okay. I'm saying good afternoon and good afternoon to your viewers. Thank you so much for having me. Trafficking syndicates flourish in countries whereby there's almost like gaps of governance, so where there's a lot of political instability. And I think the current state of South Africa is there's a lot of political instability. We're not seeing almost like a good governance and regulatory system, whether it's in criminality, politics, governance. So that is a weakness on its own, and that's what syndicates capitalize on. But then where you see then poor economies, but also gender inequality, it's another opportunity for them because they play on economic desperation. You know, if a syndicate is offering you around 30,000 for an individual and your government is offering you 350, you can just imagine what that looks like from a economic desperation. I'm desperate to put food on the table. So even people within the country, whether it's immigrants or locals, are more than willing to participate in this industry. And that's unfortunate, and that speaks to the economic gaps in this country.
And I understand your explanation about economic gaps. And, you know, maybe I was one of those people who thought that, kidnappings basically usually happen to people either because you're being human trafficked or if they want any ransom, you're from an affluent family. Now, if we're a country that is in such economic disarray, yes, we do have the rich, but it's very few compared to the rest of the world. Why is it that globally we are leading still with this crime?
So we're still, and you're right, so it's not just focused on, the rich-poor dynamics. You're seeing a lot of it even unfold within your townships, your actual, even communities, whereby locals are even participating, openly within this crime. So you have poor people kidnapping poor people, so it's no longer a rich-poor dynamic at all. It's really a problem with just the inability for, firstly, the system to be regulated well. To be honest, it is really hard to regulate and to arrest people because this is like a black market industry, if you want to call it an industry. But there's also then a lot of bases. So there's a lot of coverage for bases. You have a lot of corrupt officials that are involved in this. So you have people in the police system, people in the home affairs system. It's a very there's a really good foundation for it to flourish within this country. And corruption is an element of that.
And of course, this, now that you're putting it like that, I was going to say that we are basically a fertile ground for, criminal syndicates of kidnappings. And you've basically put it that way as well. So even that would basically mean that we are going to be a country that loses out on a lot. Tourism, for instance, tourists will fear coming here at the end of the day. So slowly, we will not be trusted with anything then if things like this are left to happen just because we provide a fertile ground for them.
Absolutely. I mean, I think trafficking just impacts a lot, not just tourism, the safety of citizens alone. So if people now have to watch over their shoulders, it then just creates a very unsafe country to stay within. Let's go as far as talking investors. Investors don't like really investing in criminal grounds because the markets and all of that, it impacts quite a lot. And I think if we're not careful, then it's going to be a big cycle where we're really just living in such a bad country in terms of criminality. Already, we are quite bad in terms of rape capital, crime capital. So yeah, it's really bad.
And I mean, Karabo, what you're saying is something that at least I think is quite simple in terms of sorting it out, by people who we voted into power and entrusted with our lives, right? I think that it's something that is very simple to implement. So where are we getting stuck in our country?
So I'd say the first thing really is the dedication of resources towards human trafficking, because it's one thing to have really great solutions and a lot of resources, whether it's individuals, whether it's dedicated units for trafficking. I don't feel like it's become a priority. We're very reactive when it comes to human trafficking. We hear, oh, there's 100 people that have been kidnapped. Oh, okay. Oh, there's a trafficking issue. We are very, very.
All right. Well, Karabo Mokgonyana did tell us that she has load shedding in her area, so it's cut her. But she's a legal and development practitioner. And speaking about load shedding, let's